Chances are you've heard some version of this. Wake up every day at 5 in the morning and instantly go to a cold plunge. After that, simultaneously write a detailed list of everything you want to do for the day while listening to the news on 2 times speed. Stick to this routine at all costs while also cutting out all sugar from your life. I mean, all sugar, even the minute amount of sugar that's in one bite of beef jerky. And then cut out every single person that has even one little hint of negativity out of your life completely, and then your life will change, and in 90 days you'll be a whole new person, and you'll be wildly successful beyond your imagination. And you're probably thinking to yourself, first of all, why do so many people find this idea so obnoxious? And maybe the way it's presented in your face, but the real problem is that you're looking at the specific things and thinking, well, I don't want to do that, or I don't see myself doing that. Maybe I don't see myself waking up at 5 in the morning on Saturday after I stayed up hanging out with my friends Friday night. Or I really, really don't see myself cutting out my, good friend or one of my relatives who has some negativity because they're struggling a bit. Either way, something about that advice is just not resonating with you. But the real challenge with all of this type of advice is that it's always one size fits all. It's always one piece of advice for every person, and it doesn't take into account the fact that we're all unique. We're all different. We all have our different strengths, our different challenges, and our different desires, which is why any plan for any type of life improvement really needs to take that into account. I incorporate that into some of these screen time initiatives by understanding, what are your desires, what are your motivations, and what are the things that are challenging you right now that are keeping you sucked into some of these platforms, giving away so much of your time to, well, I'll just say people who don't really give a crap about you. But the truth is that the challenge is not going to necessarily be social media or even smartphones or anything like that for every single person. Perhaps someone else is addicted to, I don't know, just overthinking, rehashing the same conversations over and over again long after they've either been settled or you've been determining that, well, they're not really going to go anywhere. The key is to be observant and to be willing to adjust and willing to kind of recognize who you are as a person, so that when you hear that advice, you think, okay, there's definitely someone that's worked for. There's definitely someone who's woken up, gone on a cold plunge, simultaneously listened to the news on 2 times speed while writing a detailed plan for the day, done that 90 days in a row, and then woken up with a whole new life. But that might not work for you. You need to find the solution that works, and you're able to look at that advice and say, okay, that's good, but I need something else. And then go out there and be willing to find that out, which I think takes 3 things on your part. First of all, you do need to be present a bit, which is why the screen time thing can be a big challenge, a meta challenge for anyone else's challenges. Because if you're constantly distracting yourself with watching mindless videos, reading mindless content, you're never giving your brain a chance to process, yourself a chance to really think, okay, what is my challenge? What do I need to do, and what am I capable to do? Am I the person capable of waking up at 5 a.m. every morning, or does something a little bit more flexible need to be done for me? The other thing is needing to be open-minded, and open-minded is not really attached to one solution, which is kind of where this initial video kind of goes a little bit sour. The person on that is attached to your solution, is attached to you waking up at 5 a.m. every morning, when that might not work for you, and it might not work for your circadian rhythm. So by being willing to adjust and being willing to try something and say, okay, it didn't work, and try something else, you'll eventually find that thing that really helps you with your life. And then finally, the third thing is you need to be a bit persistent, a bit willing to kind of take the amount of time it takes for behavior change to really happen. There's some varying studies, but most studies say that behavior change takes sometime between 21 and 66 days to really stick in. Think about a basic behavior like brushing your teeth. Most people brush their teeth every morning and every evening without really thinking it through. But reality is that sometime in your childhood, you probably don't remember, it took 21 to 66 days for that behavior to be mapped to your subconscious. The same can be said for anything, whether it be waking up at 5 in the morning and writing out a journal of everything you felt for the last 6 days, or even if it's something along the lines of how you respond when someone says something that triggers you, that you don't really like to hear, and finding a better way to do that. But the first step to it, and the most important thing, is definitely going to be the screen time and the getting away from constantly distracting you, which is why I honestly believe that nearly everybody in this world could use a little bit less distraction, a little bit less time mindlessly watching videos and mindlessly scrolling through all of these addicting platforms.